I've been tracking my credit score on creditkarma.com for many years now. And so I have a good idea what affects my credit and what doesn't. But back in March, I believe it was around the middle of March when Seattle first went into lockdown. We were one of the first cities to go into lockdown because several people in Western Washington had passed away early on. And that first day we went into lockdown, I checked my credit score, and I was surprised that my credit card score had jumped by 40 or 50 points. And it jumped even more the second week, if I remember correctly. And I asked a friend who's a loan officer at a bank, why this COVID-19 situation would cause my credit score to jump. I haven't paid off any new debts. I haven't incurred any new debts. I haven't done anything crazy, right? Everything's been pretty stable. And my friend explained that the credit scores are measured relative to one another, right? So it's measured in such a way that the mean is whatever, and then there's a standard deviation. And because of COVID-19, a lot of people are missing their debt payments, and so that's why, on a relative scale, if I'm doing the same thing, my credit score jumped. I think a total of 60 points from start to finish. I mean, it's kind of normalized now, so it kind of fell a little bit since March. And the funny thing is that when we first announced the lockdown, people hadn't even missed a paycheck yet. And this was day one that my score jumped all those points. And people were just nervously watching their 401ks and not thinking about the long term. And if they had just dollar cost average throughout the 401k, whatever they were investing in, right? Even if it were the U.S. stock market, I have international stocks, but some people just invest in the Dow Jones, which I think is really stupid because you live in the United States. So you're putting all your eggs in the United States. But even if they had done that, they would have turned out fine. But people nervously watch their 401ks all day, almost like it's a sports game. They're watching the score all the time. I actually made this mistake. When I was working on my PhD, I was collecting coins, and in 2011, precious metals went into a bubble. And I sold some of my silver coins when they were $35, $40, $45 an ounce, if I remember correctly, thinking I can just buy them back when they came back to normal. Now, I was pretty accurate on the peak. The problem is that I never bought them back. The money just evaporated, right? Because cash will evaporate. Right? Had I just sat there, I would have still had those coins. Yes, I would have missed out on the peak, but I'm investing for the long term, right? Stop watching the market.